Oh, what a strange year it's been already, and it's only the 7th of January. In 2024, I started doing the Monster of the Day calendar. In 2025, I started doing the Adventure of the Day calendar. Well, this year, 2026, it is the Magic Item of the Day calendar. And I have gotten a lot of requests. These are all the past days that we've done and explored in last year. But in this, I got a lot of requests from folks wanting to know that if this was for sale. And it was a one of a kind item. It was something that was a little too cost prohibitive for me to put together and sell. Um, this actually cost me about $15 to make. I don't know that I could make that. I don't know anybody would actually buy one of these for, whatever markup I'd need to do. Let's say if my cost was 15, I'd need to mark it up to at least $27, $25. I'd want to make something off of it. And I felt that that was too cost prohibitive. So this year for 2024, 2026 is what we're in. We're in 2026 for the magic item of the day. I want to give that all to you guys for free. Yeah, it's going to be downloadable. And at the end of this live stream, I'll have links in the first pinned comment as to how you can get the files. But I want to show you guys all in this stream how I put it together and then ultimately how you can take it and use it for whatever you would like. You don't have to actually make a calendar with it. You can. But what I've got today is a base template that with a few clicks of actually with a click of one button, you could create a million different magic items all at once with one click. Without further ado, let's jump on into and turn this all upside down. You guys can kind of see where I'm going with this too, right? So, with that, I am going to share this screen. There we go. And we're going to pull up the folders. So I've got several different folders. First off, what I did was in Photoshop, I needed to have a good background. And so I went through and created the background. It to me was looked like a tear off calendar, which is exactly what we're trying to create here. And so I first imported in, I did just a little doodle draw of a kind of a Warhammer type axe pick thing, a little dagger, a wand with a fireball on it, and a little potion. Imported that in, gave it a little look like a torn off little script at the top of it, and then of course added my website in there and called it the magic item of the day. So once I had that completed, I then I needed to go in and actually create uh, the file that you'll see that I'll explain as we go along. But I need to create the file that housed and warehoused all of the magic items. And what is this? Share the PDF version that the player's handbook or at least the cover. I don't understand what that means. Oh, you mean you're talking about that right there. Well, we may touch on that in a minute. So what I did was in Excel, I created 4 different pages, tabs, and in the first tab, I created what I call articles. The all in row A. Articles, the enlightened, the last, the broken, the first, the eternal, the forgotten. And you'll notice that there's a couple of segments here that are blank. The eternal actually looks like I got that in there twice. Basic, the exotic, anti magic. Then we have beasts, grains. All of these will make sense in a minute. Warriors, bards, paladins, illusionists, chronomancers. So these are going to be the initial title of what the item is. I even went down and put in the different races. So we've got Dwarven, Elvish, Halflings, Gnomes, Humans, Liches, yeah, uh, Orcish, Kinders, Giants, Monstrous, Minuscule, Immovable, and Ever Smoking. So we got 78, a little bit less than 78 if you want to take out the blank ones. But the blank ones are in there for a specific purpose, and I'll show you that what I mean by that when we get to the final thing. Excuse me. So under item types, I have this one sorted by alphabetical. I have a total of 185 different item types. So what you're already seeing here is if you go back to the articles and we'll say, for example, vampires. So it would be vampires, blanket, and you can kind of see where we're going. This is all going to be randomized. And then, but further in the item types, we've got, like I said, amulet, book, brooch, breastplate, diamond, a dog, deck, deck of many things, figurine. Again, I'm thinking like figurine of wondrous power. Okay. Gauntlets of might, everlasting gobstopper. Yeah, that might be something that gets created. And then you have the descriptors. Again, on descriptors, I have 135 to choose from. Well, that'll be randomly picked. Blood, acid, assassin, cleric, deafening, druid. Goes on and on, with the last ones being, of course, zombie and zombies. Now, the random generator, what this does is I've got this code coded in, and what this does is it pulls. I'll kind of explain it to you. Articles. So it's going to pull from the first tab, articles, and it's going to be a random from the first column or first row all the way to the last row that's in that section. Same thing with item types. It's again going to pull from the second tab, and it's going to be a random one. And then descriptors. If I can highlight it, descriptors, which is going to pull from the third tab. Now you'll see that I've got of right here because like figurine of wondrous power. Okay. Gauntlets of might just seems like it's a natural fitting one. You will see that some of these don't actually really fit. So you have to use a little bit of imagination and tweaking when you do create it. But here's the cool part. When you go in here, let me jump off of it and go back. If you go in and hit F9 button, whoops, everything changes just like that. I hit F9. Again, pay attention. The first one says Lich's Gold of Charming. Again, like I said, some of them are not going to make sense. The Armored Perfume of Monk. Again, some of them may not make sense. But the Blade Singer's Rowboat of Wondrous Power. Well, let's say you don't like any of those. Hit F9, and it just changes all of it. Bard's Mirror of Gargantuan Size. Lantern of Blood. What do you think that does? Warrior's Rapier of Acid. The Lance of Deafening. The Armored Ball of Blood. So what I have is I have this particular code entered in. Actually, I don't know why. There we go. So I have this code entered in every single one of these columns. And you'll note that I've got it going all the way down to 365. Now you're starting to see where the calendar element's going to come in. So if you wanted to, you could take that code. In fact, I could just highlight these, and let's say we want to just drag it down to 546. Boom. Now, if we take a look at it, I've got now 546 unique magic items. Okay, no, there are no descriptions of them. So for example, the Cursed Dwarven of Dead. Okay, that doesn't exactly work because of the syntax of it, right? But if you look one up, Musket of Fright. Oh, well, I mean, that's an easy one to come up with what it does. Let's say you shoot it and boom, it's such a loud boom that it frightens everything within a 50-foot radius. They either have the, oh, let's see, what condition could we give them? It could be, perhaps they get knocked unconscious. Well, it's fright, so they're probably just gonna want either run away or stand still. They're gonna be too scared to go anywhere. The first diamond of jumping. Perhaps this one, if you have it in your pocket, it allows you to jump an extra 5 feet or an extra 10 feet. The cursed stone of understanding. So let's say you have this one in your pocket. You'll be able to understand another creature's language. But when you go to, and this is the curse part that kicks in, when you go to communicate with them, it just comes out as garbled nonsense. They don't understand you. You understand them, but the curse is they're never going to understand you. So once I had the 365 of these, I would copy them into a new spreadsheet. And of course, into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Not sure why I left the C blank, but anyway, column A is going to be the day of the month. Column B is going to be the month. Column D is the day of the month, or the actual date, like the number one, first, second, third, fourth, etc. Of course, you've got the year 2026, the holiday, and I just included the major holiday. Major U.S. holidays, but obviously, if you wanted to include additional holidays, if there was a holiday that was on, say, for example, January 27th, you could enter that in. And then, of course, I would paste into the item field the name of the particular items that we had just previously generated. And you'll note that that goes all the way to 366. Okay, so the reason why it's 366 is because the first column, and this is important, but the first column contains names, okay? Categories, whatever you want to consider that to be. Now, why that is important. So what I'm going to do now is put all of this together into a pullable tear-off calendar. So to do this, I actually had to make a little video for it. And so what this is I put this into Photoshop or into a PDF reader, Acrobat, and I use a program called Fusion Pro. So with Fusion Pro, I then click it, open it, and I have to specify a data source, the data definition, in which case it's going to be the Excel spreadsheet that I used for the calendar itself. The day, the month, and holidays, all that. Once I have specified that, I click finish, and that's where I also notate that it's got headers in there. Now I'm going to draw a text frame and put that on there so that we have a section in there to populate. I'm going to go in and edit that text frame because now I have to actually insert the variables. Again, this is going to be the day, the month, that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is just insert the day, the month, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of tweaking here as we move through it, and you'll see what I mean here in just a second. So I'm going to add the date, the year, the holiday itself, and of course the item itself. Tell it okay. And I may end up, we're going to change the font as well. Kind of want to give it something, but what I'm also going to do is click this suppress if empty. Basically, if there is no holiday, it's not going to leave an actual space on the calendar for that. It will auto truncate that off. So now I want to do a preview of what it's going to actually look like. And when I click the preview, it should automatically come up. Now, yeah, that's what I suspected. I didn't really like the layout of it. So I'm going to go in and edit that text just to kind of smooth things out, make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to add, let's see, the month, the date, and the year all into one one space. I think that, or into one line rather. I think that looks good. Uh, Still looks a little odd. So I'm going to go in and I think I'm going to add a comma here. And okay, I like how that's looking. And you'll note that it's just a basic font. So now I want to kind of spruce it up a little bit, kind of make it look a little more fantasy, if you will. Let's pick a good one. I think Draconis is one of my go-to favorites. I want to increase the font size too. That might make it a little too big, but we'll see what it looks like. That's not bad. Um, I could do a little bit of shaping on this, a little bit of refinement, but you guys kind of get the basic idea here. Um, And I do see, I'm not sure why it's doing this, but the Thursday, it's I need to add a little padding into it. But that's kind of getting a little bit granular of how you do this. But once I have everything all set up and looking properly, then I'll go into another section. Right now, I'm just flipping through each one to make sure that the dates and the days and all that look good. But once I have everything all set up and everything, I'll go through and do what's called compose. Actually, let me take a look and see if I can do a padding on this real quick. Let me just breastplate of fireballs. Oh, you guys get a sneak preview of what tomorrow's is. Anti-magic tome of Tremor Sense. That'll pop out at midnight, by the way, or drop on the YouTube at midnight. So, yeah, so what I would do from that point is compose everything, and at that is when it would actually become a full-fledged, calendar system. Um, terrible a terrible system. When I say terrible, the sheets are literally you just kind of tear them off. But from that point, I cut it to size, put it on a cardboard backer, glue the top of it with a little glue machine, and then I've got this. This is actually left over from when I was doing the monster of the day calendar, and this just kind of rests in there like that, and I go to town ripping it and presenting it. And that is the basics of how I make the calendar. Now, if anybody is interested, what I'm going to do, actually, while I'm talking to you guys, tell you what, let me pop the chat over here on the screen because hey, I'd like to get some input from you guys. This is the whole reason I do this. But what I'm going to do is if I can find, here we go, the right page that I'm looking for is I'm going to go ahead and make a post right now over on my Patreon where I'm going to upload the two or the Excel spreadsheet, the one that's already populated with everything. But we're going to take a look at something once I do this because I think that it's something that you're going to get kind of a kick out of. So post. What's a good title? What should we give this as a title? How about plethora of magic items? This is the what? The Excel file that I use to create the magic item of the day, in which I can't spell the word am. I am giving to everyone for free. Enjoy, and if you have any questions, just ask. So let's see. I am going to add, where is it? I have lost the file. No, I'm kidding. I know exactly where it's at. It is somewhere. There we go. Okay. There we go. And it is going to be for free and paid members and publish. Okay, so here's the thing that I wanted to point out to everybody. That is over on the Patreon, and again, I'll leave a link to it once this whole thing is said and done as a pinned uh, comment. But let me pull it back up because what I want to show everyone. Here we go. I'm going to turn the chat off for a second. So you could literally go in here and, in fact, on this random generator, because we created like 600 of them, I'm going to go through and just delete out. We'll just go to 10, a total of 10, just so that it's a little more manageable and easier to read, right? Under articles, we'll leave this, but let's I mean, somebody, let's see. Robert says potion of bovine seduction, ring of illiteracy and gout. So descriptors, you could go into descriptors and illiteracy, illiter, illiteracy, illiterate. I don't think that's how it's spelled, but you know what? We're going to keep it funny, illiteraxy, because I'm illiterate and I can't spell. We'll also add gout just for Robert. Fright, because I see another one there that says boomstick of fright. Hey, okay, so we're going to go over to item types, and we'll drop down here to the bottom of it. We'll add boomstick. See another one, disc of the blues. So we'll go disc, and then jump over to descriptors, blues, blues. And in fact, you know what? Just so that we can see the new stuff that we have added, I'm going to delete out all of this. Again, I've got a master sheet of this. So I'm not too concerned about it. Uh, we'll delete out all of these too, because again, I want to see the things that you guys create and articles. Okay, so we go in here. I'm going to hit F9, and we've got the Invoker's Disc of Blues, the Halfling's Wings of Gout, Disc of Fright, the Lich's Disc of Illiteracy, Barbarian's Boomstick of Zombie. So in that instance, I might add an S to it because it just makes more sense to me that it's the Barbarian's Boomstick of Zombies. Boomstick of Zombies. Well, what's the difference between the Barbarian's boomstick of zombies and just a regular boomstick of zombies? Maybe if you're a barbarian, you get an additional +2, +3 or advantage or something. But in this, you could also change articles to be anything that you wanted. Let's say you wanted to do, for example, uh, adventures of the day, right? So it would be, you would need, let's say, town, village, dungeon, dungeon, city. I'm going to do locations, ocean, mountain. I'm just going to throw a few of them in there. So that would be locations. In this, I might change these to monsters. So let's say lich, zombies, because I like the undead stuff. Hey, we'll even put Vecna in. Vecna. What else? Orcs, goblins, rock, beholder. Okay. And again, you could list out however many you want. Descriptors, I'm going to change this to, so we're going to have the articles. Those are going to be the locations, the monsters. What are they doing? They are raising. Oh, hey, we got to have dragons, right? Dragons. Let's see. Raising, stealing. These are going to be actions. Um, Running. What are some other family friendly words of actions here that we could put in? Raising, stealing, running, uh, exploring. So when I jump over to the random generator, hit F9, the village lich of stealing. Okay. The dragons of stealing, dungeon rock of exploring. So what I would say, obviously it needs a little tweaking. This is just a, a quick 5 minute showing how you can alter this to suit your needs. But what I would probably do would be mountain, I misspelled mountain, but mountain zombies of running, right? So I might create an adventure. Again, let's assume that we're creating this to randomize adventure ideas. Would do mountain zombies of running. So maybe the players are having to run through mountains because zombies are chasing them. Boom, you got yourself an instant adventure idea right there. Dragons of stealing. Dragons are coming in and they're stealing all the food. Okay. You've got goblins of town goblins of raising. So there's goblins that are threatening to raise the town unless gold is given to them. Something along that line. So that's the basics of what this program or what this little code in here does. Again, I'll leave it available for everybody on the Patreon if you want to download it. Um, Short of that, let's put on the stream again. Any questions? Yes, no, maybe? Yeah, I really badly want to talk about Stranger Things. Uh, I think it's silly that a lot of people were expecting a hidden episode tonight. Hey, maybe this is the hidden episode. We've talked about vampires. And hey, we've even mentioned the word Vecna. Magic items. Of course, we're big into D&D just as the uh, group from Stranger Things was. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to show everyone. Robert Gray asks if I'm going to sell my calendars. No, that's the whole point of this live stream was to show you guys and provide to you guys the files so that you could make one yourself. I'm giving it away for free. You can't beat free. Um, I just don't think that I could make it economically enough to sell, especially once you take into account uh, tariffs and all of that good stuff, shipping and whatnot. Um, ugh, we've learned Vecna's greatest weakness. Yeah, his greatest weakness is the Duffer Brothers and their lack of decent storytelling. That's their greatest weakness. But I digress. Anyway, I wanted to provide everybody these files, or this particular magic item random generator file. I just thought it would be neat to have and for you guys to play with. And again, feel free to run with it, edit it. Let me know what you can come up with. I'd love to see some additional ideas of what you can come up with. And yeah. So kind of a short live tonight, but that covers all of my points. Wanted to show you guys how I made the calendar, and I think I've done that. So again, download it, have fun with it, play with it, and see what you can come up with. Let me know what you come up with down in the comments. And until next our paths cross, may you have fun creating endless random magic items. Make them strange. Make those things strange.